What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center. And in this video, I wanted to talk about what happens to us when we get overly focused on not just the outcome, but misunderstanding the purpose behind our trials, our suffering, and the need for personal and spiritual growth. So a lot of times we think that, we set out to do something. We set out to work on ourselves because, we want something. And that intention or that motive isn't necessarily wrong per se, but it can lead to undesired results. And the reason for that is because spirituality is about learning that fulfillment can only truly be found within ourselves. And anytime we make the mistake of thinking that we must get something or achieve something or, just anything having to manifest something, anything having to do with a person, place, or thing outside of ourselves, then we're believing in a lie. We're believing in an illusion, because true fulfillment can only be found within us. And this is the greatest spiritual lesson that all of us are here to learn. And it's a paradox, a duality, because we live in a world where we are afforded all these opportunities and experiences in life in a variety of ways where we can tap into fulfillment, where we can experience fulfillment, a degree of fulfillment, whether it's happiness, joy, satisfaction, whatever those things are, pleasure. But those things aren't lasting. They're just mirrors trying to get us to look within ourselves to connect to our divinity, our source, for true fulfillment. And then once we connect to our divinity and our true fulfillment, then it amplifies the experiences that we have with the things outside of us. And it empowers us to connect to the things that are in our highest good. So this video is all about us understanding that it's not about the outcome. That's not what spiritual development and personal growth is about. It's about who we become. We are the ultimate outcome because we are the ultimate source of our fulfillment. So with that being said, if there are any sensitive ears nearby, there is some adult language in these videos usually. I get very passionate, and so that's just a heads up for anybody around with sensitive ears. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. As you approach the finish line, and the finish line is an illusion. All the finish line is just an opportunity to celebrate a temporary victory as we just move into the next evolution. You cross the finish line of you becoming the next version of yourself. There's a moment we celebrate, we integrate, but then it's a whole new race. So you're back out on the track, and this is life. Just constantly going up and up and up and up and transcending. It's growth. Growth never stops. We either grow or we die. It's a spiritual law of life that applies to all of us, right? So you're very close to this. Jackpot just represents this card represents the energy of everything that you're desiring, and you're really close to getting it, but not without a fight. Forget the word chaos. It's not without a fight. Okay, well, what are you fighting? What are you fighting? You're fighting procrastination. Procrastination is a result of confusion and a result of you not always being aware of the progress that you're making. And it's also you feeling like you're not sure that what you're doing is actually doing anything because you're not always seeing the tangible results of the effort that you've been putting in, because we're talking about spiritual matters versus a physical matter, like changing, your body, your weight, It's like, okay, well, I've been exercising and I've been eating right. I can go stand on the scale and I can see a tangible difference because the number changes. We're talking about spiritual matters. We're talking about your spiritual growth. There's no metric for that. It's hard to gauge, even if you're dealing with somebody, you're going to therapy once a week, or you had a life coach or somebody who you were meeting with, they would be able to see certain things within you changing, but no one's going to really ever know the fullness of what's going on inside of you. That's what spiritual awareness is. Awareness is you becoming aware of what's actually going on inside of you. And the fullness of the awareness of what's going on inside of you. Some people don't have any awareness. They have no awareness of what's going on inside of them. They've been trained not to. And most people spend so much time in their head that all of their energy and resources are consumed by the mind, that they have none left over to go investigate and integrate or search their spirit, their soul. And so few people really don't know. I don't know what's going on inside of me. I don't know how much I've grown. And so you have to wait for the feedback around you, the feedback, you're looking for feedback in the tangible reality to tell you and to guide you as a metric of how much have I grown? Where am I in the work that I've done? And I'm not saying that it's wrong per se. Like there's nothing wrong with looking for evidence out here in the tangible world for changes that we've made inside of ourselves. But I'm saying that that's not the best metric, because what's happening out here externally can be very deceiving. The world around you could be in complete chaos, and and things inside of you could be changing for the better. You might be the best you've ever been on the inside. But if you're looking at the world around you, you see all this chaos and you're thinking, well, I must not be doing it. I must not be changing, because out here, all I see is chaos. It's the same chaos. It's a shit show out here. And so you might falsely believe that no change is really occurring inside of you because the external world isn't reflecting that back to you. So you have to be careful. And this isn't just for you, Gina. This is for everybody. This is a message for everybody. We have to be careful about using the external world as a guide and a metric to grade or to assess our spiritual development, because the external world can be deceiving. And that's why it's important for us to have spiritual awareness of self, spiritual self-awareness. I'll say that one more time. Spiritual self-awareness. Awareness of your spiritual self, awareness of your spirit. How am I growing? What's going on? Right? And so the battle that you're up against as you approach your victory to get the things that you want, have to do with procrastination. And the procrastination, we all know what that is. Putting things off, waiting, not taking action, not feeling motivated. And again, procrastination is fueled by confusion or just feeling like, well, why it's no motivation or no incentive. You're not feeling incentivized anymore, because you feel like if you're putting work and effort into something and you're not seeing a result, then there's no incentive for you to keep doing the same thing, right? That's just how the brain works. It's like, well, I'm not going to keep doing this if it's not changing anything, right? Going back to people who want to lose weight, if they just go to the gym every day and they walk on the treadmill for an hour, and then they go home and they eat pizza and they eat ice cream and nothing else changes. All they did was go to the gym every day and walk on the treadmill for an hour. And they're like, the weight on the scale never changes. So this is dumb. This is stupid. So now I'm not even going to go walk on the treadmill anymore. I'm not going to exercise. It's pointless. It doesn't work. It's like, well, no, it's not that it doesn't work. It's that you canceled it out. The hour that you were walking on the treadmill, those calories that you burn you replace them and then some, right? And so that's a lack of self-awareness. They're not aware. It takes that person having self-awareness to go, well, it doesn't matter how much I exercise and work out, because if I burn those calories and then I just put them right back in, a surplus, meaning more than I burned, then my weight's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to change. So I need to have enough self-awareness to go, oh, well, if I really want to incentivize myself to do something, I have to eliminate confusion, because confusion will always lead to procrastination. If you don't know what to do, when someone doesn't know what to do, most people don't do anything because they're scared to make a decision. Confusion makes people scared because they don't want to make the wrong decision. I'm scared. I don't know what the right decision is. I don't know what the right decision is, so I'm not going to make any decision. That's why courage is here. That's why step out of your comfort zone is here. It takes courage. All change is the result of one of two things: inspiration or desperation. You're either inspired and motivated, incentivized enough to change, or life, you get so desperate that you're going to do it because you just want to get out of the pain and suffering of not doing it. But if you're going to be inspired, if you're going to beat procrastination, it's going to take courage. The courage to do what? The courage to confront confusion, make a decision. And the only reason that people are afraid to make decisions is because they don't trust themselves. And the reason that people don't trust themselves is because they're not connected to the divine. They're not connected to their intuition. They're not meditating and contemplating. Because the more time you spend with the divine, the clearer you understand that style of communication. It's just like if you've never been to Japan and you're an American and you don't know Japanese and somebody just dropped you off in Japan, you don't know the language. But if you had to survive, if somebody literally just dropped you off in Japan and you were stuck there with nothing, you'd find a way. You'd start to learn. And over time, you would learn how to speak Japanese for your survival. That's how we should treat our connection to the divine. We should learn how to communicate with the divine. Or another way of saying it, we need to learn how to communicate with our intuition. So if people don't, if using words like God, source, the universe, the divine, if that's too woo-woo, too spiritual, let's make it more practical. You have to learn how to have a conversation with your intuition. And then you'll learn to trust yourself. And the more that we learn to trust ourselves, then the more courageous we can be. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing the thing afraid. But there's a level of confidence in courage, because the fact that you were willing to do it, even though you were embracing a level of discomfort and a level of uncertainty, you did it anyways, because something inside of you said, hey, I don't need to know everything to take a step here. Like, yeah, it's kind of, it's a little uncomfortable because I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't really know if I'm doing it right, but I'm not concerned with the rightness of it. I'm concerned with the result of it. That's what's more important, not the rightness, but the result. And I know that as long as I'm choosing the two non-negotiables that the divine has with all of us, I can use my free will to align with what's in my highest good, then you never have anything to worry about. That is the recipe for success. The spiritual recipe for all of you, the spiritual recipe for success is that simple. You have free will. That's the first non-negotiable that the divine has with all of us. The divine will never violate your free will. So you, as a spiritually independent, autonomous, free spiritual being, when you choose to align your free will choice to what's in your highest good, then you have chosen what the divine wants for you. And so the only thing left to do when you've made that choice is just walk in faith, which is courage. Faith and courage are the same thing. True faith requires true courage because they both require and embrace uncertainty. The spiritual life is the life of uncertainty. That's exactly what spirituality demands of all of us. You cannot be a spiritual person. You cannot be a spiritually evolved person. You cannot be a spiritually awakened person. There's no part of any one of us that can embrace true spirituality without also reconciling and embracing 100% some degree of uncertainty. And there's different levels at different times of life. Sometimes we only have to handle a little bit of uncertainty. Other times in life, we're being asked to walk on water. But if you're going to walk on water, you have to step out of the boat. And that seems impossible because you've never done it before and you've never seen anybody else do it before. But yet you're being called to walk on water. So it's not a black and white thing. It's not one size fits all approach. But you'll know where you stand, no pun intended, on the water, no pun intended, by having conversation with the divine and learning the language of the divine so that you know. That's where the faith and the trust comes from, is by communion with the divine. And that builds your trust. That builds your faith. And as your faith grows and expands, thus does your courage. And as your faith and your courage expands, your power expands. And so as your power expands, possibility expands. And as possibility expands, fulfillment expands. Because possibility and fulfillment go hand in hand. That's what the divine is. The divine is infinite possibility interlaced with infinite fulfillment. They're it's all one in one. It's all one and the same. And the expression of that force is the very thing that you're awakening to, that you're becoming. It's the expression of that force that wants to come through you, to unite with you, become one with you. And so as you approach, Gina, as you approach your outcome, this jackpot, this thing, and the fight, the internal battle is triggered, when it triggers, you will be asked to have courage to confront the procrastination and confusion so that you can get your breakthrough. Sometimes the last mile is the hardest, because the last mile, you're tired, you're worn out, your body aches, and you can see the finish line. It's right in front of you. And so all that's left is how bad do you want it? But in your case, it's not how bad you want it. It's why do you want it? For what reason? Because like I said to you before, if you're doing it to get the thing, it's the wrong reason. All this work that you've been doing shouldn't be to get the outcome. All the work that you're doing is so that you can become a new you. And the new you that you become will have the understanding of why it was important for you to realize that you were the outcome, not the things, not the other things. Those things weren't the outcome. You were the jackpot. You were the outcome. You were what was all of this about. You were the thing that you were searching for this entire time. It wasn't love. It wasn't a man. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. Gina has just been searching and looking for Gina. And when Gina finally finds Gina, the real Gina, the Gina that's been inside of you, waiting to be discovered in all of her glory and all of her power, that's when it all makes sense. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.